Okay, we are live. So hello. Hey, Fit Pros. I'm so glad to help you. Welcome to the Fit Pros Show live. This is the interactive live show created to connect fitness pros with information, resources. I wrote this script today, so that's what I'm reading it, and each other to connect Fit Pros with information, resources, and each other. This month, the Fit Pros Show is hosting a takeover by SCW Fitness Education, and all month we will interview faculty and staff from SCW Fitness, culminating with the start of Dallas MANIA, which is now going to be a live event this year and will be held on August 21st. So please say hello as you come in and arrive. And we have got with us today Jeff Howard. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Hey, Kelly. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. So excited.
I am so excited to have you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Okay, I'm switching over now so I can see all the comments. So just a little behind the scenes, I have switched over. If you see the way that the show looks and it's got all these graphics and crazy stuff going on, I've switched over to something called StreamYard. And now I'm able to bring a guest in and I've got the graphics at the bottom, but it doesn't show me everybody's name as they're commenting. So when you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at my screen so I can see who's commenting and what they're saying. So Jackie is here, Therese is here, Eileen is here. You guys, hello. It's so good to have you.
Hey guys, hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're a tribe, guys. Nobody knows what we do except us in this room. You've got to admit, your husbands, your partners, they don't know. My mom and dad think I'm a cheerleader. I've never cheered in my life. Every weekend they're like, "This, are you cheering today?" I'm like, "I've never cheered, but okay, that's what I'm doing."
That is the funniest. I love that so much.
They don't know. Nobody knows what we do. They just think. How many in this room have been told, "Oh, it's great, you get to work out all day long," and you're like, "No, that's not what we do."
No, not at all.
Not at all. That's why I love this group. That's why I love what you're doing, Kelly, because let's be honest, guys, nobody knows what we do except us in this room. We're an anomaly of what we kind of do as people, I think.
So true. So true. That's really great. I did hear someone say today that there are 200,000 instructors in the United States. I know I think it's more than I thought.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. And there's more and more because I'm doing the certifications. And believe it or not, guys, we are still getting people that want to get certified in Group X. They want to get certified in yoga, Pilates, nutrition. A lot of personal trainers, a lot of our staff that we're finding that do Group X have realized that Group X is maybe not where people are feeling comfortable, but they are feeling comfortable in PT. And so people are changing on the dime to going to personal training because people are more comfortable doing small groups right now outside. It's interesting.
You know what's so interesting about that too is when we first started going into this whole new COVID world, we were seeing that personal trainers were so much more kind of already ready to go online, and the group fitness instructors really struggled for a minute. I mean, now I think if you're going to do it, you're doing it, or you're at least moving toward doing it. But it took a minute.
Yeah, it's funny. It's you know, our club opened up on the 15th of June, and to be honest with you, the month that we ended with, our personal training staff did great numbers wise. Our Group X, I'll be honest with you, the usage was at about 17% of what it was.
Yeah.
And going back to the streaming, you're right. They just were a little bit more quick on the uptake because let's face it, guys, these Group X teachers were not the most savvy when it comes to stuff that's technologically challenging. That's why we do what we do. We're cheerleaders.
We're cheerleaders. Just ask your parents.
That's right.
Well, that is awesome. So the way that we are conducting these interviews is we're doing kind of a meet the presenter, meet the faculty staff kind of style. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then we can, as we are talking, we'll talk about whatever we want, and people will be submitting their questions as we're going. So the first question is, how did you get your start in the industry, Jeff?
Great question. So I'm from Canada originally. I was born in Quebec, and I was a speed skater. Apparently not very good. Anyway, my father played tennis, and he was very good, and we would play tennis as a family. Well, I got a 4-year tennis scholarship to the University of Texas. And that's how I got to America. And when I got into college, I studied kinesiology. So I was the kid that showed up. I had long blonde hair. I showed up in Texas from Canada. I have a French-Canadian accent. And I studied kinesiology. And I was in over my head. I had a minor in nutrition. And you guys, I'm old. I'm really old. And the first job I got out of college was, at that time, the president had a Get Fit program. And there was a guy named Dr. Cooper from Cooper Aerobic Center in Texas. Anyway, I worked with him to set up the program and help with the program. So I went from studying school and then going directly over to work for Dr. Cooper. And then after that, I was taken to a spa in Puerto Rico called the Golden Door. Mm-hmm. Now, the weirdest thing about this, you guys, is this. So I was brought there with a gentleman named Lawrence Biscontini to set it up, and it was a mind-body spa. So now
Lawrence has been on the show.
Yeah, so Lawrence is Lawrence. We get there, and neither of us had a mind-body background. So they sent us to India for 6 weeks to the Kapala Center to study yoga. Now, guys, they had me stand on my head. They had me stand on my head for an hour to find nirvana. Kelly, I found a lot of things. Nirvana wasn't one. They had me put cotton up my nose, shove it through my mouth for cleansing, and then they said, we're going to drink our own urine for purification. I said, I got to go home. So that's kind of where my career started, I'll be honest with you. But my career has always been a little bit backwards, that I've always done things that have been videotaped or first this way, and then taught real people secondary. So my career has been very backwards, to the point that the first time I ever did a step class, Kelly, I was with Lawrence Biscontini. We're going to go on ABC News. He's teaching me a step combination on a curb in New York City before we go into the studio. I'd never done it before in my life. Yeah, that's how my career.
This is great stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you're so camera ready.
I don't know about that. By the way, did you guys see the hair from the headshot that was set on the thing? Obviously, this is the COVID do now. This is like, we can't get people to come out to the house, so I'm just going with it. I'm wearing tie-dye again. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm doing TikToks.
You might be putting a cheesecloth up your nose soon.
Exactly.
Well, that is a great story. And I had no idea about the Lawrence connection. Yeah, he is awesome.
And being in Puerto Rico was interesting. There was a woman there named Lolita San Miguel, who actually is an elder that studied under Joseph. And so she was this beautiful woman that was 76 that lived there at the time I was there. And I studied Pilates with her for 7 years. And she was the only one that didn't come to America and have these different Pilates franchises. And so, story about this poor woman, Lolita. So remember this, guys, I'm an athlete. I have no dance background. I'm not very dancey at all. She used to walk with a cane. I thought it was to walk. She used to hit me with her cane because I didn't know first position of ballet or second or third. And apparently I'm an idiot, because it took me a while to figure it out. And I studied Pilates with her for 7 years. And then I got certified in pretty much everything under the sun. I've been an examiner, AFA examiner, all this great stuff. I've been on QVC, sold the Gazelle with Tony Little. Remember him? Oh, yes. Oh yeah, did that. Remember?
I need to get him on the show as well.
You gotta get him. He's a good one.
What's he doing?
I don't know. Tony and I aren't very close, I'll be honest with you. But
he's growing the hair still.
Yeah, I think it's still going on. Yeah.
That is awesome. The Gazelle. Mm-hmm. That was low impact.
That was low impact. And in the day, like I said, I pretty much did a lot of things I should never have done, and it's been videotaped. Want the story? Here's the story, guys.
Yes.
I want you to Google Jeff Howard Latin Fiesta. Okay, think about this. Mindy Milray's coming out with what? Her gliding discs. Remember the gliding discs? We all have them, yes? So they're like this. I'm in Puerto Rico, and they're like this, Jeff, do you want to do a DVD? I'm like, yeah, I want to do a DVD. Why not? So every modality I suggested, I can do muscle conditioning. Everybody else had chosen. So I'm in Puerto Rico, right? Remember, Canada-based, no dance. I'll do a Latin Fiesta. You guys, I have on orange pants and a yellow tank top. I get to the set in California with the discs, and I'm going to do a merengue, salsa, da-da-da. I taught it so badly that you see my words moving, my mouth, but no words come out because I'm chewing it so poorly. Better than that, this DVD was so bad that Anybody that got gliding discs in your clubs, they gave away 2 CDs. And guess which one they gave you? One of mine. So everywhere I've gone in the world, people have showed up with this DVD and said, "Look," and I'm like, "God, not again, not again."
But you know what? They're probably like, your Latin dance changed my life. You were so bad, it made me feel better.
Yeah, exactly. Learn from my mistakes, kids. Learn from my mistakes. Don't video it if it's not good.
I hear that a lot with my yoga. I've always been kind of self-conscious about going full body on camera because I'm a thicker girl, right? And they're always like, "Oh yeah, you're so confident. It makes me feel better." And I'm like, "Thank you." No, it is great. It's honestly that is a big compliment. But so your favorite thing about your career?
Oh, great.
Question number 2.
Great question. My favorite thing about my career. I am a person that believes in just going from the heart. You guys, I am thankful every time somebody lets me into their home to do something via this way, or I'm thankful when they come into my class and I'm just like, "Thanks for letting me be a part of your journey. Thanks for trusting me with your body. Thank you for, there's a lot of competition out there and you're trusting me. And that means a lot to me." It's funny. A lot of the presenters you're going to meet, they don't teach classes as much with normal people. They just kind of just present. But I've always made it my career that I would still teach classes because of that backwards thing I told you at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I've taught maybe sometimes too many classes a week, but I've always wanted to be connected to the population to see what's going on and to really know the grind of what it is. But with that comes also the responsibility of their well-being and their happiness and health. And I truly feel, I feel blessed because they do trust me with their bodies and I'm pushing and pulling them. And let's be honest with you, it's called working out. I'm asking them to work and they show up and they do the work. So for me, one of my favorite things, I guess, is the connections I've made with people and the friendships I've made and the trust that happens along the line.
Ooh, you used a few really good words there. I loved the word responsibility when it comes to what we're doing with our participants and our clients and the trust.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's when I'm teaching people, like when they're new teachers, I go off a little bit about taking on the responsibility of other people and how you don't want to do that. There's a difference with them trusting you and then you taking on what their problems are, whether it be food, body-wise, body imaging, any of that. You have to be very careful with that because that's not what we do. But that trust of letting us be vulnerable with us is a very important thing. And let's face it, they are being vulnerable with us. Ellie, when you talked about, like what you're saying about being a different body image, let's say, what I love about fitness right now is this. When I started 30 years ago, we all had to look a certain way. And many teachers put so much pressure on themselves that was unwarranted. Because what I do love is, I bring up the Kardashians and, whatever, but I'm saying, but they brought back healthy body imagery. And I'm a firm.
At least it was okay to have a little meat on you. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. And it's one of those things where, when I'm teaching new teachers, I'm telling them that I want our vocabulary has to be that everybody's body is beautiful. Everybody's body is important, that we can make you be the best versions of you. And when people ask you that, I want to look like this, you got to ask them, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Because, it's this beautiful thing that we're given. But I really think as teachers, we have to change. There's so much self-loathing of women's bodies and stuff. And I don't play that way. I don't like it. And the teachers I'm teaching, the new teachers, I'm like, you've got to go forward and just be, you got a great body. What are you talking about? This is great. I can make you the best version of you. So when we say trust,
I love that.
I'm kind of careful about trust. Trust means they're allowing you into their home. They're allowing you to be vulnerable with and stuff like that. But I don't want you to take on the responsibilities of that. You know what I mean?
So important. So you hit on a real hot button with me because I'll try not to comment too much on other people's stuff, but when people start going down the rabbit hole on Facebook or whatever of people are only in class to lose weight, that is a real hot button for me. And I was in a different group and somebody kept saying that in one way or another, people come to class to lose weight. And I was like, you know what? if these people have been in your class for a long time, like they've either done what they're going to do. They're just not there to lose weight. They're just not.
Kelly, I love this. In fact, everybody listening, this is what I want you to do. You're going to get a piece of paper and you're going to write down 3 goals. And I don't care if you call it the COVID 3 goals. I don't care if you call it when we get back to clubs and you're like, what are your 3 goals? And you're going to give it to every client you have and you're just going to have them fill it out. What are your 3 goals?
Oh, okay. I love that.
And so it doesn't cost you anything. And you take a picture of it with your cell phone. So they own their goals or they have them do a screenshot of it. Take the goals and hide it. Let them know in 6 weeks, it takes 6 weeks for the body to change, right? 3 months for permanent change. So you let them know that because they're going to be consistent, right? Hopefully. You guys, what you're going to find out from that little document will let you be able to forecast your class. And it's just like Kelly's saying, it is not about weight loss. It is not about a dress size. It's about lifting heavier weights. It's about being consistent. It's about drinking water.
Yes.
It's about getting ready for a marathon. It's about feeling good about themselves when they look in a mirror. It's things you're going to find out. But it's also going to let you know, like if they're all wanting to do something about a run, guess what? You can gear your workouts towards that. And then you bring it back out in 3 months and you're like, did we meet your goals? You know, they've taken responsibility of it then. Do you see what I'm saying? But
yes.
You're saying, Kelly, it's not, I have never found it to be about weight loss. I hate to say it. I know that we're always given these, you know, from outside sources with commercials, weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. It's about healthy individual. It's being a healthy individual and making the functionality of their life great.
So important. And this may play in. I'm going to go straight into question number 4 and we'll come back to question number 3. But question number 4 is, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for fitness professionals in the industry? Do you think it's around kind of changing that mindset, or do you think that it's more around like online or something else?
Great question. So of course we're in this weird place, kids. We're in this weird place right now where the industry has changed so greatly that we have to change with it. And what I'm finding, you know, here in Louisville, people want to work out outside. Bottom line, they don't want to be inside. They want to be outside. So we have to change accordingly. So what was your question, Kelly?
Oh, the biggest opportunity for the industry.
Right. So I think you guys, you need to get simplified. You need to simplify what we're doing. And I think that we can now change the vernacular of what we're going to say. It's about getting healthy lifestyle. It's about getting back to normal. You know, the whole thing, like I said, it's always been, don't have time to work out. Well, we've had 3 months. You've had the time. Have you changed it? And if not, how do we change that no into a yes? You know, I'm a firm believer in, we can always, even now, if I said to you, I want you to live stream, you guys are going to be like, but I can't get a microphone and I don't have a camera and I don't. I want you to peel it back, guys. You have a cell phone, or if you have an iPad, it's all you need. I stream 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And I started Monday after we closed down on the Wednesday. And all I do is I take my sound system next to me. And guess what happens on your devices? If it's a phone or an iPad, it mutes it all as a background noise. And so when it filters forward, it's not overly choreographed. It's not heavily done. And to the point of, you guys, I don't know about you all, but I've noticed that we can't even get weights. Like, it's hard to find weights. So I've used jugs, I've used cans. I did a workout today with a broom. I do this broom workout that I do all the time because I use it for a stabilization piece of equipment. And what Kelly's doing with the yoga is important because we're looking always at what's going on with China, because they kind of did it first. And they've proven that, you know, Pilates, yoga, low intensity interval training is what people can do in a safe manner. The high hit is what's kind of happening. That's a problem. I think that I want you guys to take this time, instead of being like, get some education. This is the time that if you want to learn about Pilates, learn about Pilates. This is the time that you want to learn anything different that you've never done modality-wise. Take the time to kind of figure it out and learn it. But I do need you guys to look at things are changing. We will never go back. We are never going back. People, if you look at the number one piece of machinery that's sold in the world, it's the Peloton bike. Whether you like it or not, it didn't take away from us. It did not take away from us. But what it taught us was this. We all thought that our tribes would just follow us because they loved us. Well, guess what? They're falling in love with teachers on Peloton. So there's that. But what I learned mostly was this. I'm doing live streaming. My live streaming, I get maybe 102, 200 views. The next day, I get 1,000 to 2,000 because they want what they want when they want it. That's what Peloton taught us. They have a schedule in a library, so they get to do what they want. So now you got to think like this. Okay, so this is the way it's changing. They want what they want. We've always known it. people still want to work out outside. Trust me. Every Saturday, I do a workout. It's called Something on the Lot. And I go to different businesses and I say, hey, you got a great parking lot. Can I do a workout out here? And then I put it out there on a poster and I get 50 people showing up. They're outside. The parking spots are 6 feet apart. And I ask for a donation of $10.
Okay, that is really innovative.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen people doing it, but not enough.
Right. So I'm doing it like I've got it lined up now that I've done. Like I did, listen up, guys, I did a Botox place the first time. Not that I used it, but I'm just saying. Anyway, and then I went to a place that was another place that has water, energy water. And then I've done another place that was just, what was it called? A restaurant. Restaurants are great, guys. And I'm doing it at 8:30 in the morning, so it's nice and cool. They sign waivers. Remember this, we do waivers for this for legality reason, but you give them a waiver that's either COVID-based or you give them a waiver that is based on them taking the responsibility of their bodies, their space around them, all of that, okay? And then this week I'm going to a kid's camp. It's called Camp Hi-Ho. They're like, this Jeff, we're out here, we want you to do it in the barn. The week after that, I'm going to a dress shop, a woman's dress shop. They've heard about it. So now that's the way I'm kind of like focusing differently. Does that make sense? We all have parking lots.
It's like the food truck model, but for fitness, because people who want to follow you, they can get on your Facebook and then they know where you're going. And then you're opening yourself up to a new audience. I think it's genius. I'm actually going to suggest that when I teach my Growing Your Group boot camp in August. We're going to look more into that.
The thing is this, so you guys, when you're streaming, for me, I'm teaching and I'm like this, share this on your page, give the gift of fitness, give the gift of fitness. And I'm pushing hashtag give the gift of fitness. And I'm asking them to share, because then your nest is here, but then it's going to go to their nests and hopefully their nest. And it makes it just blow out there that way. So it becomes more, it's a bigger pond, if that makes sense. And same thing with like the workout stuff. I'm doing it, I do invitation only because we can only have limited space. But I asked them to RSVP and they were like, well, can I bring a friend? Well, yeah, I want you to bring a friend. Like, I want that $10 too.
I love it. I love it. Oh, that is some good stuff. And I heard you say something else in the beginning. And so what I heard you say is, first of all, that you're doing some really creative in-person stuff and that people want outdoor and they want it on their schedule and they want it in their location, but also to just be looking for the yeses in this situation. The people, the ones of us that are really looking for the yeses and looking for the opportunities are the ones that are gonna come out of this a little bit more comfortably.
You guys, even with what I'm doing, I've been presenting for 30 years with SCW and I've been to Ideal World and I've done so many other things. And I've managed an Equinox in Chicago. I worked for Oprah. I went to South Africa, as I was telling Kelly, and I worked for a company called Virgin Active where they brought me to live in Cape Town, and I taught standards throughout South Africa. But in Louisville, Kentucky, even, I'm going to be honest with you. It's what happened to me. Job got called back. You're coming back, Jeff. Great. When I came back, they wanted to give me 17 classes because I'm a heavy hitter. And I said, okay, I can't say no because I already knew the CEO. If I said no, I would be fired, which means that I was no longer going to get unemployment or whatever that thing was. So I said, okay, so I taught the week. And what I want you guys to know this, when you guys go back to your club, if you don't feel safe, I want you to tell someone because there's so much protocol for the members, but not us. And I need you guys to feel safe because what you're doing is you're changing people's lives and you're giving them so much and you're the ambassador for your clubs, but you need to be protected. And if you don't feel safe, I want you to tell someone because I don't want you to be at risk. You have people back home that rely on you. So when I went back, I did the first week and then they wanted to give me 5 more. And I said, you guys, I am 56. I cannot do this amount of classes and I don't feel really comfortable being inside. Let me teach outside. Let me stream. Let me do what I do. And she goes, no, I can't talk you into staying if you don't want to be here. And that's what's happening in the industry. The teachers that are good teachers, which you guys are all, and if you get paid more than, say, something that makes $10, people aren't coming back to Group X right now in clubs. So guess what they're going to do? It's a bottom line. They don't care if you're a heavy hitter. They care that that spot is filled. So it comes back to this. I want you to feel protected when you go back. Please feel protected. And if you don't, let somebody know, because our bodies and what we do is what we do. Okay. And so even now I'm going to 2 different clubs now. So I left my environment that I knew, and I'm going now and I've sublet spaces. That's another option, guys. There's a lot of clubs that are needing space filled. And so I approached a yoga studio. Hey, can I teach at 5 o'clock here? Sure. I have to pay her $100 a month, guys. And I teach 3 days a week there. And I charge the members and they Venmo me the money. So we have to be creative. It comes back to like what Kelly and I were saying about if you feel a no even in your head or your heart, reach out to someone like Kelly or me, and we'll learn you how to make it to a yes. Like it's
good point.
You gotta flip it, because guess what? There's not going to be Sleeping Beauty. You're asleep and a prince is going to kiss and wake you up, guys. You've got to wake yourself up, and guess what? You got to get your own crown, because it's up to us to do this in a safe manner.
Very nice. Wow. Okay. You're transitioning really well for me into question number 3, which was, what are you doing to practice self-care? I heard you say that you said no to 22 classes. What else?
It's so funny. As fitness professionals, I've never met first of all, we're afraid to ask for money. The worst.
Mm-hmm.
The average pay structure, guys, across the United States is $17 a class. That's terrible. Think about what we got to do. We have to prep the class, pull the music, get furthering education, keep our CECs.
Now we clean, probably.
Now we clean. We'd have to disinfect. $17. That's not okay to me. This is all I've ever done my entire career as a male. So for me, I'm the provider for my house. That's got to change. That's got to change. What was the question, Jill?
Self-care.
So when I was at Equinox in Chicago, guys, I taught 36 classes a week, and I managed a facility. So I've been that work mule. But now at this stage in my life, for me, self-care is this. What I loved kind of, and I hate to say it this way, about what's happened with this calming down thing that happened with the COVID, is I was able to take a breath and think, wait a minute, what's going on here? What does my body really need? I'm lucky. I've not had a hip replacement, knee replacement, anything broken. And I teach high intensity. I was brought into my facilities always to bring a younger member, because that's what I do best. I bring in younger programming, but my stuff then has to be right.
Yeah.
So when I came back, I was streaming. I was doing 1 class a day, and I was doing it outside, and it was on the parking lot. Blah blah blah. For me, self-care is a great question. For me, if I am not nice to my partner, that means I'm tired, and they don't deserve for me to be mean to them. And they don't deserve for me to be grouchy, and they don't deserve for me to give them any attitude. And that's my wake-up call. If I snap, that's me saying, uh-oh. Hey, those 3 things, guys. I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm overworked. And it can happen in that way. So for me, I pulled back, Kelly. I don't want to teach 10 classes a week. And I know what I need to make a class. I need to make $100. That's all I'm asking for. That's it. That's what I mean. I live my life this way. I shall not want. As long as I have a roof over my head, food in my stomach, some money in the bank, I'm good. The rest will fall into place. The rest will fall into place. So in my goal, I've already set, this is what I need for an hour or for 45 minutes. I'm teaching 45 minutes now, guys. It's another way to get it cheaper. Do only 45 minutes. And then in my head, I've thought $100. That's what I need. That's all I need. Anything better is great. Okay. So you just have to list what you want. So for me, I've pulled back that way, and I'm going to start training myself again, because I do so much HIIT training. I need to lift heavier weights because I'm 56. We lose muscle mass, blah, blah, blah. So we can actually train me.
Well, you're not the first person that I've heard say that this slowdown, and I've noticed it as well for myself, that this slowdown has been good for my body, that I never listened to what my body needed. It was always, I was doing the workout, I'm yelling, I'm breathing, I'm doing all the stuff at the same time. And then first of all, when I wasn't able to teach it all, I noticed I'm working out a little harder. The workout is different. My body is stronger. And then now with the yoga, squeeze harder. You got to make the moves be bigger. My body is stronger than it has been in a really, really long time. But also not working out as much.
I love that. I mean, and because we're having to flip it so much and doing this kind of stuff virtually, you have to use your words more, and you have to use expressions. And and everything else more. And so you're actually doing what we're supposed to do, we're coaching. And the weird thing is, you guys, if you have not taught this way, it's more personalized than you realize. You know, when I'm doing, people are like this, how can you do a Group X certification? I have them put 4 moves together. I sit and watch 40 people teach it, and then I hear them teach it. But even when we're doing the public, we're still getting that connection. It's an amazing thing, actually. They can't hide in the back row. Mm-hmm. You always had these people that wanted to hide. Mm-hmm. Turn their camera off, of course. But it's I need you to embrace this a little bit. I know it's scary for some of you, and I know it comes back a little bit to some of your lack of technology, or perhaps you don't like the way you look on camera and all that stuff. You guys, you'll numb it out. The more you do it, the more you'll get regular. And if not, you'll get really good at makeup. You'd be amazed. I've got makeup brushes now, bronzer, concealer. I've never done makeup in my life. I got it on right now.
I used setting spray for the first time. I had a makeup artist on the show, and I said, what do we need to be doing? And she said setting spray. So I got setting spray. Now sometimes you can use too much of it and it makes your face shiny. But
what brand are we using, Kelly?
Oh, the cheapest one I could find at Wally World.
See? And if it was me, I would go to Wally World and say, hey, can I do a workout here at 8:30 in the morning? I would really appreciate this, because right.
I want to make $200 and buy the most expensive setting spray.
That's my girl.
That is amazing. So Eileen Burns is saying we accept low pay because so many people think of it as only a side hustle and they don't care what they get paid. And we need to change this philosophy that it's only a part-time business, and we do it because we love it. So true.
You know what, Eileen, you're exactly right. It is a side hustle for some people. It is a part-time gig for some people, but still it's something that we've got to change the idea as teachers of that, because here it is. You're the ambassador for your club. You're coming in contact with 30 and 40 people, and you can either make or break that club. But I want to say this as well. As teachers, we have to do things differently as well. We have to treat it like a business. We have to post every day what you're doing. You have to get that cadence going. Every day of my life when I teach, I put down everything I'm doing. I'm doing this. Happy Wednesday, happy Tuesday, it's Thursday. So when this happened with me just now, leaving Milestone, my following knew, oh, where is he going? We're going to go here now. Because I caused the cadence. You guys, I need you to know who's in charge of your clubs. Any other business you would work in, you would say, who is the manager of this club? And you would go and introduce yourself. I'm working here. Hi. I just want you to know who I am. Because when I do SCWs and we traveled, I'd have to sit with the CEO of my company and find out who the subs are. Who are we going to have the sub? And if they didn't know who Kelly was, shame on Kelly, but shame on them as well. They should know who Kelly is. She's meeting all her people. But that takes it to a level of being a professional. And you guys, when you negotiate your deal, no problem saying, okay, you want to bring me in at this amount? Great. Can we renegotiate this in 3 months? If I can do what I feel I can do for you, can we renegotiate it? Mm-hmm. Any other business you would renegotiate. Okay?
So smart.
But we have to look at it. We have to treat it like a business, guys. I mean, it's partly our fault as well. Mm-hmm. But we can change it. And like I said, I'm so pro teacher that reach out to me or reach out to Kelly. I mean, together we will get you where you need to go. And sadly, all the people on this call are already treating it like a business because you're already here. It's the people that are not here. But we'll get them here.
And we get so many more people watching on the replay. I've almost thought in the past that we need to change the time because we do this in the middle of the afternoon and we get 10, 20 people watching. And then by the end of tomorrow, there's 300 visits. So,
and that goes back to like the Peloton thing. They want what they want when they want it. We're spoiled.
And you guys, by the way, if you're walking around and doing your stuff and you can't watch, put your phone in your pocket and just listen. You don't always have to be watching. But you said something else. And it really made me think about what we were talking about before we came on the air, which is that when all the instructors and personal trainers, especially instructors, were working for clubs, we weren't as responsible for how many people walked into our class. And it was very easy to say marketing needs to do their job, or that there aren't enough members in the club or whatever. And now we're seeing that we have to take personal responsibility for the participation if we want to make money if we're doing this in a parking lot or if we're doing this online. And it's a great lesson for us if and when we ever do go back to the club, or if we stay on our own, that we should have always been looking for those ways to pack our classes. And now we have to, or we won't make as much money as we could.
And that's just it. I mean, and that goes back to just that personal connection we make. That personal connection we make with people when they come into the class to make them feel that special when they come in, by either, and it's old school, knowing their names or whatever, introducing them to somebody else in the class. You know, like today, I just taught a class for the first time in a new facility and I didn't know their name. So I'm like, what's your name? And I'm like, hey, this is Christy. I made a joke of it, introducing to each other, that when I was able to leave to get a piece of equipment, they were talking with each other.
Yes.
And we've caused this kind of community to happen. And that's what's going to keep it going, because that community, you guys, the number one reason people come to classes is for pleasure. If you think it's anything else, you're joking with yourself. They have to have a good time. Side product is that we're giving them a workout and they're whatever, but they have to have a good time. So it's our job to kind of, and you're right, Kelly, you know, we can always blow it off onto saying that, you know, it's the wrong time or the wrong schedule or the blah, 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 blah. But as teachers, I think that we all have it in us to be that person. Let's face it, most teachers I know are introverts. You put on this fake personality to be in front of a crowd. Me, I'm that kid that hid behind my mom's skirt, believe it or not. I'm shy. But you know when you hear play that music and you just go?
Yes.
We all are, guys. And so if we can be that go, you can also be that person that's introducing people to each other and doing that. I'm telling you, if you ask them what their goals are and tell them just be consistent, 6 weeks you'll see a change in your body. 3 months we'll get a change. You'll hopefully get them. But let's be honest with each other as well before people are not loyal. They are not loyal. They will cheat on us. My people will come and take Kelly's class tomorrow and not even tell me. You know who they are. They'll come back.
Yes, they may not be loyal, but they do remember.
They do remember. And I'm always like this, you know, and even that kids, I'm always like this. As long as you move, I'm happy. As long as you move, I'm happy. You have to give them that out. You guys, when you're streaming, I need you to also say this. Thank you guys for being with me. Thanks for your donation. They've really helped me. You haven't even gotten a donation yet. But what you've just did is you planted in their head, oh, I'm supposed to give a donation. You go to my Facebook page right now, you're going to see this thank you. I'm like, thank you so much for coming to my page, and thank you for just watching me. And your donations have helped me through this time. I couldn't have made it through it. I did that yesterday. Today, I'm going to put in my PayPal and my Venmo and just say, if you liked anything I've done, please feel free to make a donation. Mm-hmm. You have to ask them, but in a way that doesn't sound like you're asking. Like if you say, thank you for doing this, thank you, you're planning in their mind, oh, I'm supposed to do this. I didn't know I was supposed to do it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I've even reached out to people and I've said, I haven't seen you. And they're like, oh, but I've been doing your workouts. And I'm like, oh, and then, oh, I didn't pay you for it. And I'm literally like, I didn't even know that was happening. But I'm like,
that's smart.
Is it Kelly?
Yes, because I have felt like one of the advantages of the situation that we're in and the fact that we're teaching online is that we do have better personal access to our participants. A lot of times there was a wall between us and the participants in terms of they kind of belong to the gym, but now they belong to us and we can contact them. So I do check in on people and say, I haven't seen you. I want to make sure that they're working out. But that piece where all of a sudden they're reminded, well, I should probably make a donation. That's.
See, and the thing is, and Kelly and I talked about this before we came on. We're joking about it right now, but Kelly and I both believe in integrity and being a person of, from my heart, everything I do is kind of like, if you're sincere, then it's sincere. Like when I talk to you guys about being helped, that's sincerely how I feel about you guys. When I do say something, I mean, like I couldn't make it through. The members thought our clubs were taking care of us, guys. They have no clue that we were not being paid. And so in their minds, we have to let them know, I couldn't have made it without your help. And that's sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Does that make,
oh yeah.
It's integrity and sincerity is going to be, for me, if I could give you anything, if you do it sincerely, it'll come across sincerely and they'll follow you. Bottom line.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, last question. Well, I have two more. What is one thing that you know now that you wish you had known starting out 30 years ago?
Oh my God, don't videotape anything when you're not ready for it. That would be what I would say first, sir. And
You're saying to a person who is on Facebook Live twice a week for an hour.
yeah, Cal, I'm just saying. I would say, to be honest with you, I would say that the teacher that you are today will not be the teacher you are next year, and that you have to embrace that you're going to change and become better. It's a numbers game. Everything is a numbers game. The more you do anything, the better you're going to be. Even seeing Kelly and me today, we're doing this a lot now, guys. So we're naturally talking like this. It's not hard for us. But the first time you do it, it's not going to feel good. But nothing feels good. Look at a kid when he starts to walk. Does he get up right away and walk? No, he falls. That's what's going to happen. We're going to fall a little bit. I wish I would have known the numbers game. I wish I would have been a little bit more prepared for what that means. And I also wish that I wouldn't have listened to people around me a lot. A lot of times when I came in the industry about 30 years ago, I was this blonde kid and I was just like, whatever. And I was classified as a cake with no inside. So I've always fought that people perceive me as just being, I was called a Ken doll my whole life, bottom line. Mm-hmm. So people always thought I was a Ken doll and I had no inside, and I listened to them. And I would always try to fight it. So I was fighting this the whole time. And only sadly with maturity do you realize that you don't have to listen to what people say, and that you have it. So I've always challenged myself then with like having to write articles for newspapers and having to do more certifications and more education to fight that voice I heard.
Wow. Interesting.
Is it? It
is. It is. Yes.
Like what you said even about Kelly, about you saying like about your body thing. You're like this. If that's your
where I was going to, yeah.
That's your voice. And like that's where with maturity, you're like this, screw that. Like you're beautiful and you're nailing it and you're doing all those things. You know what I mean? Like we all have that stuff. Let that go. Truly let that go.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What will you be teaching at SCW Dallas?
Okay, so I'll be in Dallas. And the cool thing about the manias of this, it's hard for us as teachers, as presenters, because when we used to do the circuit, we could regurgitate the same thing every mania because we were going to different groups and they weren't videotaped. Well, now that they're online, they want to make sure that if you took one last month, you're not going to see the same thing again. Mm-hmm. So they're making us as presenters come up with different classes and formats all the time that are different. So I'm big on lower body. So I love the way the body moves. So I'm a kinesiology guy. So I'm like, with change, you get change. Bottom line, if you do the same thing all the time, the body will never change. But if you change up just the different movement of it or changing the dorsiflexion or plantar flexion of the foot, the body changes. So I'm doing, I think it's called lower body intensity, bop, bop, boo. And I'm doing something a total body with no equipment because we don't have any equipment.
Nice.
Of course, I'll be doing the yoga certification. I am doing a yoga that is abdominal based. And it's called yoga with, I think, resistance or something. It's a core-based yoga class. I'll be doing a yoga certification, a yoga flow certification, and a group X certification on top of that. And then I've always done water, guys. It's weird. I love water. I love water fitness, and I love a water fitness crowd just because we can change the quality of their lives. And even though I was always brought in to bring in a younger member, my heart goes to my water people. And so I teach a lot of water. And I teach it, you're like, but there's no pool. We teach from the deck. So actually as teachers, it's better for them to learn because you're learning how to do it. And if you haven't done water, guys, after this pandemic, water is the cleanest thing to be in, kids. Like they have proven that because of the chlorine, we don't have any issues. It's so much safer. So if you're not going to water, I want you to start thinking about water because these people, you'll never have a following like them. It's amazing.
Love it. Beautiful. I'm so looking forward to it. So I'll be speaking as well, but I also may try to pop into one of those sessions.
Probably we could team teach a session. Would you like that, guys? Would you like that?
I would love that.
Let her know. Maybe we could do something together. I could talk to Sarah.
That would be so fun. Yes.
I would love that.
So I'm on the business track. I'm teaching the challenge, the payoff, and I'm going to talk about exactly what I've been doing with members of this group and other people that have discovered me with helping them go on online and then coaching them through the first 6 months of their business. So
you guys, if what Kelly is offering right now is what she just said, you guys, she's going to give you kind of the layout of how to do it, because you have to change up what we're doing. It's sadly, we're not going back, not for a while. And so I need you to teach. I need you to be out there, and I need you to do it. But if you don't know how to do it, something like Kelly can actually help you get through that and break down that barrier. I don't want the no anymore. She can make it into a yes. And if not, reach out to me. I'll help you as well. But I know that Kelly's got it kind of like down to a science. And if you've never done a MANIA, you guys, you've got to do it because it's cheap. It's like $159 for the entire weekend. You get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a plethora of classes you can take. You can jump in from nutrition to Pilates to business to whatever you want to do. And you guys, it's one of those things. You get the CCs. Normally you have to travel, so it's just you do it at the comfort of your own home, and it's just something. I'm always surprised, Kelly, when I talk about during my certs, people have never done a MANIA yet, and I just think it's something that if you've not tried it, I'd love for you to try it. Just one. I mean, it's just kind of the new way to go. But use this time to recalibrate. If I could end with one thing, is this: let's recalibrate who we are, and let's recalibrate it for the better instead of being, ugh. Let's go, okay, this is great. How can I recalibrate what I'm going to do, okay? And even if that means you're going to change your career, but I don't want you to change your career. We need you. We need you. I'm old. Kelly's going to help you.
I love it. Beautiful last statement. Perfect. So we will see you at SCW Dallas, which will now be a live event. It will not be in Dallas this year. I'm so sorry about all this background noise. My family.
Who called you?
That was my husband's phone. So here's what happens with that one is he needs attention while I'm on live, so he starts being noisy, and it's
Okay, how many of you? I know we're almost done, but how many of you are happily married still? Literally, if this did not test you, I'm literally like this. If this is retirement, Kelly, I don't know if I'm up for it, because I'm literally like, Mark, you got to go somewhere. This is not working for me. Can you anything? I mean, we had a dog that was dropped off to us 2 weeks before pandemic. It was a 2-week hiatus. Pandemic started. We had the dog for 4 months. Literally, I'm like, I don't want a dog. I don't need this dog. What is this dog doing here? Mark fell in love with the dog. Dog had to go back. Now I got to find a dog for Mark. That's where we're at in my life in Louisville.
Oh, you're going to have fun. That's going to be good. Okay, so we are going to end on that. I've got a few little housekeeping things I'm just going to go through really quickly. You guys, next Wednesday, I will be on Matcha Tea Time with Denise Embassy from Muscle Mixes. So I'll see you guys there. The boot camp that we talked about will start August 24th, so you guys will hear about that. And more information about SCW Dallas is at scwfit.com. And you go there, you can find information about the virtual certs that you can do on demand, the virtual certs there's live streaming stuff that happens on a schedule. There's also on-demand stuff, and then there's the Dallas conference that's going to happen all online.
Yeah, all that's happening, and it's geared for us. You can all be cheerleaders for the weekend.
All right. Jeff, so good. Thank you so much. Mwah. I will talk to you soon, my friend.